The State Road 25 bridges over the Wabash River in Logansport has been named after a fallen hometown hero. The Indiana Department of Transportation joined state and local officials to rename the bridges as the Corporal Humberto Ariel Sanchez USMC Memorial Bridges. As News 18 has previously reported, Corporal Humberto Sanchez was killed in action after a suicide bombing at Hamid Karzai International Airport in Kabul, Afghanistan. Several people in the Logansport community, including Corporal Sanchez's extended family, joined the ceremony. Humberto's mother, Coral Barricino, says the renaming will carry his name on for ages to come.
Even when we're not here anymore, even when we passed away, the bridge is going to stay there. And the bridge is going to remember, and everybody coming to the community, it's going to say his name, and and if they don't know who he is or who he was, they're going to know or actually figured out who he was.
The ceremony was held indoors due to inclement weather. Corporal Sanchez's awards include the Congressional Gold Medal, Purple Heart, Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal, Combat Action Ribbon, Sea Service Deployment Ribbon, National Defense Service Medal, and the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal. And an Indiana State Police trooper was hit this morning while investigating an incident on I-80-94 eastbound near mile marker 0.7. It happened around 2 a.m. today. While troopers were at the scene, another crash happened. A white Dodge Charger crashed into a Hammond fire truck and a black Subaru. The Subaru hit a car parked on the shoulder, which then pinned Trooper William Carlson into a concrete barrier wall. The driver of the white Dodge then tried to run from the scene, abandoning a seriously injured passenger. Two Good Samaritans placed their vehicle in front of the fleeing suspect. One of the Good Samaritans drew his handgun and told the fleeing suspect to stop. The suspect was then taken into custody. He is 23-year-old Brian K. Smith of North Carolina. He now sits in the Lake County Jail pending charges. His passenger was flown to a hospital for her serious injuries. Trooper Carlson has been released from Munster Community Hospital. And Lafayette Police hope you'll stop by to say hi this weekend. With the help of Security Federal Savings Bank, the department is holding its third annual Kona and Cops event. 2 Kona ice trucks and LPD officers stop by various neighborhoods, giving out 2,000 cups of free Kona ice. Between the 2 trucks, there are 15 communities to visit. LPD says this event is part of connecting with the community. Officer Danny Anthrop says this event fosters a positive partnership with the community.
It's something that, and sometimes in our jobs, what we have to do isn't always positive. It's not always a happy feeling, but we want to garner that trust with the community.
For the full list of neighborhoods and times, check out this story on our website, WLFI.com. And new warnings about the spread of monkeypox, and the U.S. has its first case of polio in nearly a decade. Elise Preston takes a look at some of this week's top health stories.
New York officials have reported the first U.S. case of polio since 2013. The unvaccinated young adult has developed paralysis. The person had not recently traveled outside the country. Most Americans are vaccinated against polio. Some health experts are warning monkeypox could become an entrenched sexually transmitted disease, but the head of the CDC believes there's still time to contain it. So far, more than 2,400 U.S. cases have been reported as part of an international outbreak that emerged 2 months ago. The federal government has distributed more than 190,000 doses of the monkeypox vaccine, and nearly 800,000 doses are expected to be available next week. And the World Health Organization says coronavirus cases have tripled across Europe in the last 6 weeks, accounting for nearly half of all infections globally. In the U.S., infections are on the rise in at least 40 states, with a highly transmissible BA.5 variant dominating the surge. Those are some of the week's top health stories. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Now we're going to send it on over to Storm Team 18 Chief Meteorologist Chad Evans with a first look at our forecast. Hey, Chad, it's been raining out there pretty heavily today.
It really has, and we had that round of storms come through this morning. You see over about the northeastern 2/3. Man, I'm really big on this shot. I'm going to kind of scoot back it as small as I can here. You can see the storms going through the northern, northeastern two-thirds of the viewing area, and some of the wind damage reports received. Trees, power lines down, even had part of a roof off a home up here in northeastern Pulaski County, and wind gusts to 76 at the Grissom Air Reserve Base. But once those move through, the tail end, the outflow boundary of those storms produced new storms right in this zone this afternoon that produced some pretty heavy rain. The good news is that right now, that's all kind of winding down. We just have a couple isolated showers around, and other than an isolated shower or thunderstorm this evening, we are in good shape from here on out. This is kind of the leading edge of the really intense heat trying to come in from the southwest. Nonetheless, the flash flood warning continues for Benton, Newton, and Jasper counties for a little while longer, up to 7:15. These showers will continue to dry up, and again, nothing more than an isolated small shower or a little thunder shower this evening. And then we watch for a few more storms coming up tomorrow. Now, not everybody got the rain today. We'll talk about who got the most and who didn't get much at all next.
Thanks, Chad. Some exciting things have been happening at the Celery Bog for the past couple of weeks. Each week, around 50 kids have gathered for the nature camps there. Nature camps have been going on there for the past several weeks for children ages 6 through 12. It's a great opportunity for them to learn about the nature around them. Nature camp at the Celery Bog is entering its last week. Each week has a theme, and next week's is Feathered Friends, where kids can learn all there is to know about birds. The camp prioritizes education and makes sure kids have fun while also learning. There are even guest speakers from the community that come in to teach the kids expert information.
Each day we start with a hike, we do lots of fun activities and crafts and games, and every day the kids go home with something to show their parents, and they're always super excited and telling everybody about their new favorite insect.
Registration for the summer is closed, but keep an eye out for it during the winter to register your kids for next summer. Director of Celery Bog Nature Area and Lilly Nature Center, Dan Dunton, adds that it's really great to have camps like this so kids have an opportunity to expand their special interests. The Tools for School drive is still in need of certain supplies. Salvation Army Lieutenant Rachel Johnson says their building is filling up quickly. However, they still need clear, BPA-free plastic water bottles. They also need children's shoes, styluses, and earbuds. Johnson says they are also wanting to assemble feminine hygiene packs. She says they need drawstring bags to do so. Johnson says this year's drive is especially important.
People in the past who have not always struggled are struggling now because of the cost of inflation. As we see, we're serving over 1,000 kids. So obviously there's a need for this.
Johnson says they are still accepting supplies until next Thursday. They can be dropped off at the Lafayette Salvation Army. Now, people all across the WLFI viewing area and beyond were treated to a celestial light show early yesterday morning. Just before 2 a.m. yesterday, a meteor streaked across the sky. A few viewers were lucky enough to catch the fireball on their home security cameras. The brilliant display burned out as quickly as it appeared. A professor at Purdue University explained the meteor that caused the bright light that filled the sky was probably no bigger than a softball. Since the meteor didn't land, scientists have little information on where it came from, but they can speculate on some details.
Based on the reporting, we're not sure if this meteor completely broke up and vaporized in the atmosphere, or if there will be pieces found in the ground. That will depend on what it was actually made of. If it was made of iron, then it's likely it could have made it to the ground. Based on the reports from the eyewitnesses, it probably was something about the size of a softball before it came in the atmosphere.
Johnson said that several meteors of this size impact Earth every day, but it's very rare for people to see them. A meteor shower is expected to happen on August 11th and 12th. Coming up, former Trump aide Steve Bannon gave an interview to Fox News host Tucker Carlson last night after he was convicted of 2 counts of contempt of Congress. More on that after the break. And Chief Meteorologist Chad Evans has a full breakdown of weather for the week ahead. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't put it on yet. It's the only annoying.
Like for the CG, what it should say for the bump for this block.
Just like coming up. Wait, like the coming up in sports lower third?
You can just put like,
Wait, I can't hear them. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
You're watching News 18 Weekend Report. WLFI Lafayette. News from where you live.
Welcome back. Former President Trump and his allies remain unapologetic despite evidence presented Thursday during the latest January 6th House Select Committee hearing. It centered on what the former president did as the attack on the Capitol was underway. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette has more from New York.
How do you feel about going to jail?
Former Trump aide Steve Bannon gave an interview to Fox News host Tucker Carlson last night after he was convicted of 2 counts of contempt of Congress for refusing to comply with congressional subpoenas to testify before the January 6th committee.
I will never back off. I support Trump and the Constitution, and I'm not backing off 1 inch. If I go to jail, so be it.
Thank you very much.
The former president held a rally last night in Arizona for gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake, where he criticized the January 6th hearings.
Just a horrible thing that's going on in our country. It's sick.
Thursday night, the January 6th committee presented evidence that the former president watched the attack unfold on television instead of stopping it.
He betrayed his oath of office and was derelict in his duty.
They gained access to the second floor.
New audio of Secret Service agents charged with protecting Vice President Pence captured the terror and danger that day.
There were calls to say goodbye to family members, so on and so forth.
The committee will hold more hearings in September. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
The committee is also investigating deleted messages from Secret Service agents during the time of the attack. The director of the Secret Service says he has told his staff to cooperate with the probe.
And now, your Storm Team 18 forecast. Weather from where you live.
All right, so that complex of storms went through this area this morning, some of those severe gusts. Then on the tail end of it, the outflow boundary, the storms right in this area this afternoon, those have fallen apart and moved southward. Just some light rain down here and occasionally moderate rain around Petersburg, also south of West Lebanon and south of Crawfordsville. And then just a random small shower or thunder shower from our northern counties all the way back to Illinois. This is all happening as the rain cooled air from the storms we had today. It's produced kind of like a little mini cold front. It's dropped back to the south. Well, now it's coming back northward. It was 106 today at St. Louis, Missouri, and we got to around 100 degrees as close as like the Bloomington, Illinois area and Peoria, Illinois. So that heat is pushing up against that little front, and it's lifting back north as a warm front. So that may produce an isolated shower, isolated thunder shower this evening. Otherwise, as the warm front moves right back northward tonight, our temperatures may actually rise tonight to around 81 by early tomorrow morning. That said, boy, it's the haves and the have-nots with the rainfall. Not much in the south. Some areas got a little rain around Crawfordsville, and they're getting a little bit around Petersburg now. But look at this, where the storms got hung up on the tail end of the round we had this morning. Anywhere from 2 to as much as 6 inches of rain from western White, far northern Benton, southern Newton, southern Jasper counties to kind of wipe away a good chunk of the drought. And then look at that gradient between Benton and Tippecanoe County with that band. Much heavier up around like Chalmers and also around Fowler. Then you go southward, not much of anything around Ambia, and even down here towards West Lafayette. I think we had like 1/3 of an inch of rain. That said, through the evening, again, something very isolated initially, then some clearing. The wind picks up from the south. It'll be a muggy evening. Temperature slowly rising tonight, believe it or not. It'll rise to about 81. Heat indices rising to about 88 with a nice south wind. So a very steamy night is expected. Then we got a slight risk of severe weather for late tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Main threat is a few severe gusts. You see the slight risk right across the viewing area as a weak cold front moves back southward. So a couple of storms will go to a broken line of some storms by late afternoon and evening with a 91-degree high, but the heat index running near, if not exceeding 100, especially over the southern half of the viewing area, with highs varying from 85 north to mid-90s in our southwest. And then it's a lot better on Monday. Much lower humidity, partly cloudy. How about a high of 83 with 80 to 84 doing it viewing area wide. So here's tonight. Notice how things quiet down over the area. All these severe storms stay north of us. Here we are at 1:30 in the morning. This is 5:30 in the morning. A few storms begin to sneak into the north by 11 a.m. A few more at 1:30. And then kind of a broken line forms in the area. And remember, can't rule out a couple or a few severe gusts mixed up in this either. There's 3 and there's 4:30. That all pushes away, and then it's cooler and less humid for the rest of the night and certainly right into Monday and Tuesday. 7-day forecast. Normal high is 85. We'll be at 91 tomorrow and steamy. 84 on Monday, 83 on Tuesday. Less humid on those days, and finally some showers and storms Wednesday before we dry out once again, but not overly hot Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.